You ever just stop and think about the ground beneath your feet? It feels pretty solid, right? Stable. But what if our entire planet just stopped spinning? It sounds like something out of a wild sci-fi movie, and yeah, the chances of it happening are pretty much zero. But stick with me here, because this crazy thought experiment shows us just how much we rely on these huge, invisible forces every single second of our lives. So let's dive in and see what that would actually be like. Right now, it doesn't feel like you're moving, does it? But you are. We all are. Our planet is constantly hurtling through space and spinning like a top. So what if that spin just, poof, vanished? I'm telling you, the fallout would be faster and way more catastrophic than you could possibly imagine. Check out this number, 1,670 kilometers per hour. If you're near the equator, that's how fast you're moving right this second. That is literally faster than the speed of sound. This incredible speed is the baseline for, well, everything. And the moment it stops, that's when the real disaster begins. So, let's talk about that very first second. This wouldn't be a gentle coast to a stop. No way. It would be an instant, violent, planetary scale whiplash, and it's all thanks to a little thing called the law of inertia. Okay, think about this. You're in a car going fast, and the driver slams on the brakes. Your body jerks forward, right? That's inertia. You want to keep moving. Now, imagine that, but for the entire planet. The Earth's crust screeches to a halt, but everything on it, the air, the oceans, buildings, us, we all keep going at over 1,600 kilometers per hour. So what does that look like? Well, first, the atmosphere itself, the air we breathe, would basically become a supersonic sandblaster, scouring the entire surface of the planet clean. At the same time, the oceans, with all that incredible forward momentum, wouldn't just make tsunamis, they would literally slosh across entire continents. In an instant, every building, every forest, everything on the surface would just be gone, pulverized. And look at the timing here. This is what's truly mind-blowing. If the stop lasted for just 1 millisecond, we might just feel a tiny tremor. No big deal. But 1 full second? That's it. That's a full-blown, catastrophic, extinction-level event. The difference between a little shake and the end of the world is, quite literally, less than the blink of an eye. Now, let's say somehow something survived that initial apocalypse. The new, motionless Earth would be one of the most hostile places imaginable. We're talking about a planet of two extremes, permanently locked in place. Because with no spin, our whole concept of a 24-hour day and night cycle? Gone. One half of the planet would be stuck facing the sun forever, boiling away the oceans and baking the land into a sterile desert. Meanwhile, the other half would be plunged into a permanent, freezing night, colder than Antarctica on its worst day. Speaking of the oceans, after those initial continent-covering tsunamis finally settled down, where would all that water actually end up? Well, the answer is just bizarre. You see, the Earth's spin actually causes it to bulge out a little bit at the equator. It's the same force that pushes you to the outside of a merry-go-round. Without that spin, gravity would pull Earth into a more perfect sphere. All that ocean water would then just slide downhill toward the poles, creating two massive polar oceans. And what would be left in the middle? A single, giant, bone-dry continent wrapping around the entire equator. And this just perfectly shows the total collapse of our climate. The force from Earth's spin that makes hurricanes swirl, gone. Our weather, which is now this beautiful, complex system, would be replaced by something brutally simple. Hot air would rise on the sun-facing side, flow over to the dark side, get super cold and sink. Just one massive planet-wide wind current, completely hostile to life as we know it. But even after all that, the fire, the ice, the floods, there's a slower, quieter threat that would be unfolding. The silent death of our planet's protective shield. Our planet has this amazing magnetic field, and it's basically a giant force field. It's created by the churning liquid iron in our planet's outer core, which acts like a massive generator. This field is our #1 defense against deadly radiation from the sun and deep space. And the key thing is, that whole generator is powered by the Earth's rotation. So you can probably see where this is going. If the planet stops spinning, that churning motion in the core gets all messed up. And over time, that planetary engine, our dynamo, would just grind to a halt. The power to our magnetic shield would simply turn off. And without that shield, it's game over, just in slow motion. The surface would be blasted by radiation. But even worse, the solar wind, this constant stream of particles from the sun, would start to strip our atmosphere away, molecule by molecule. Over time, Earth would become a cold, irradiated, barren rock. Honestly, a lot like a bigger version of Mars. Thinking through this whole catastrophe really makes you realize just how incredibly important our planet's simple daily spin is. It's something we completely take for granted, but is a fundamental pillar of our world. And this quote just nails it. The rotation isn't just about giving us day and night. It's the engine that keeps our temperatures from going to insane extremes. It's the force that stirs our oceans and our atmosphere, creating the very systems that allow life to thrive. And that's really the big takeaway. This whole thing isn't some doomsday prediction. It's a revelation. It's a way to appreciate the delicate, powerful ballet of forces that makes our existence possible. It shows you just how incredibly dynamic, and in some ways, how fragile our home really is. The Earth's constant rotation is just one of these silent, invisible forces that we depend on every moment of every day. And it kind of makes you wonder, right? What other invisible forces are out there perfectly tuned, just silently keeping the chaos away and making our world work?